Oh,
because we cast a lot of Terran matches.
we did cast a lot of Honmono. Oh god, but here we go, a fresh new series.
Indeed, it is. Over here on Waterfall, we have the blue Terran player spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner map, all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Waterfall, which we chase, even though we were explicitly told not to. I don't remember what meme Steel decided for Waterfall. I think it was something about the song. It's a very musical themed map pool this season. A blue Terran player from the land of Belarus, representing Sidestorm Gaming, he is Nicoract, the defending champion.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Waterfall, we have the British Zerg player himself. He is yellow, representing Platinum Heroes. It is Iba.
Question on, I think, all of our minds here. Has Iba fueled up on tomatoes yet today?
We haven't. Look, if he makes it through this series, we have to ask him what he had for breakfast.
Yeah.
It is a weekly tradition.
And we have to ask him if he made it, he bought it, or he just found it lying around.
There you go. And also, I have to look into it, but he was also in our Twitch chat earlier talking about how technically he can get dual citizenship, and because his parents are from Bangladesh, and because like if he is able to set that up, oh my god, do you see the rally? did you oh my god, do you see that? What is happening right now?
You're spinning me around.
Oh my god. But
I feel for this Overlord, he's got to be at least a little bit motion sick.
Oh my god, not like this. His poor he's not stopping. Why is he doing this? Is it for us?
Spin.
Is it for him? I don't know.
Right round.
But he actually could potentially be part of the Oceania/rest of Asia region. I have to check the countries.
Yeah, because I think Bangladesh is counted as rest of Asia, since it is part of that South Asia kind of group.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if India and Pakistan were considered rest of Asia, but Bangladesh isn't.
Yeah, so we'll have to double check on that. But you know, some fun facts there, some fun facts by Iba. Meanwhile, maybe he was a little bit too distracted with that Overlord. We'll see. Nicoract is going to try and get a drone kill here, but so far the micro is good enough, and Iba keeps everything alive.
And not just the drones, we mean literally everything.
Exactly. We do see the Reaper slipping on into the main base as well. Again, a pretty standard opener from Nicoract, going for the Reaper first, just trying to scout, trying to deal whatever damage he can. Again, trying to get one of those drones. He dives in. Oh, God.
Oh! I always get a mini heart attack whenever I see a Reaper in the middle of all those workers, but Iba, he is merciful today. He has decided not to pull the workers.
Yeah, exactly. He'd rather be efficient and mine away at it when it comes to those minerals, which means the Reaper will survive. And again, Nicoract, he confirms the third base location, confirms no additional gases have been taken, that the gases were, we did have a pull out of that gas, and there is no return.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling at least a little bit of relief right now as he continues to produce Hellions alongside this starboard. It's going to be that nice old, well, I say it's looking to be that Hellion Liberator style or opening, but you never know when somebody decides to throw down an armory or a fusion core.
Yeah, same. I was about to be like, yeah, I was about to say, hey, look, we have like a more traditional 1-1-1 opener, but then I noticed the lack of add-ons here, especially on the racks, and I'm like, something's wrong, something is missing. Now we see what it is. It is going to be a BC opener, and it's on Iba to try and slip in and try and figure out what is happening.
You know what? There's not a lot of anti-air here, but it's Overlord.
Yeah, the Marines are in a different position. They're here in the main base instead, so the Overlord could potentially slip in from the natural. What's important is that Iba is spotting these Hellions, so he knows that it is at least a 1-1-1 opener. So he knows to get, if he doesn't get a scout up, he needs to throw down some safety spores, but he's still in the dark as to what exactly this build is.
Yeah, the Overlord's starting to move into position. Nicoract still keeping things safe a little bit. He's still keeping a couple Hellions at home, despite moving a couple of them out to be active on the map.
Yeah, 4 of them on the map, 4 of them back at home. The Marines repositioned as well to deal with this Overlord. Eba is getting safety spore crawlers in every single one of his bases. He is getting a second Bailey nest by accident. Hopefully he realizes soon.
That's what happens when you move too fast.
Yeah, exactly. We could sometimes we try and joke about like a double upgrade timing, but there's only one upgrade for Baileys. Feels bad, man.
I'm hoping he gets to cancel there, or at the very least, maybe they can act as SimCity.
Yeah, it can.
It's not good SimCity, but since he already has it, then look on the bright side? Question mark.
Yeah, it'll be fine, Bappy. It'll be fine. We have the lair on the way as well. These mass amount of Hellions are poking and prodding, and here we go. The BC is going to dive on in here, working together with the Hellions to try and break the third.
Yeah, one queen already goes down, another one very, very low. There's not too much transfused energy remaining, but the BC is starting to get very low on health. There's not that much dead air for it to be able to utilize here. Most of the Lings have been dealt with, as have most of the Banelings as well. And despite that juicy line of drones, the queens provide enough of a defense to keep these Hellions at bay.
Yeah, but you know what? The Hellions aren't done. They're going to rotate around and clear up a bunch of this creep. Looking at the units lost tab, in that aggression, only 2 Hellions went down, but 3 queens and 3 drones. So honestly, a trade that was well worth it here for Nicoract. He was very patient. He didn't overextend. He didn't throw away his Hellions or anything, despite how low they are. And because of that, he still has a presence on the map.
Yeah, he's still able to continue to recede the creep like so and act as enough of a threat keep Eba from doing any run-bys or anything like that.
Yeah, behind this, we have a commitment, by the way. We have a fusion core. Not just a fusion core, we have a double starport BC. It's so disgusting.
That's a big commitment.
That's how Gumiho beat Serral. That's that happened. We have a scan in the main base. Okay, Nicoract is well aware that Eba plans to go into Aspire and into Corruptors. Thankfully, Eba will have at least that anti-air to work with. But the problem is that he's aware that the BCs are coming in.
And they immediately target down the Spire. That was a kill and not a cancel. There's just not that much anti-air here available for Zerg. He's got queens, but they are spread out across the map and they're not very consolidated. And plus, on top of all that, the sheer firepower of 3 BCs. I mean, this is just oppressive.
Yeah, every single queen is falling. In a couple of seconds, we're going to have Yamato as well. At the same time, the Hellions try to dip on in, and there isn't that much creep threat here, so the Lingbane cannot chase him down. Every queen ends up falling. The Spore will fall as well. In 5 seconds, we are going to have that Yamato, and the BCs are out of control, mate.
Hey, I'm a Terran player, and even I'm like, this is... How do you defend against this, man?
I'm afraid to look. That was 13 queens. GG gets called, and Nicoract takes the first game.
In style as well. I love seeing some BCs. Over 1,000 APM here from Eba. That's got to be the refresh rate on the keyboard.
Well, that was the Overlords. That was the Overlords.
That was the Overlords.
Yeah.
Being spun round. Baby round.
Like a record player, man. GG, well played. Nicoract flaunting the new style that has been getting really popular recently. That is the 2-port BC. As we can see, if it isn't scouted, specifically the lair, it doesn't feel like the lair was too late, but the Spire was, unfortunately. And because of that, like, there was no solid anti-air to deal with the BCs. And a lot of that is because Eba didn't know that it was 2-port, right? He wasn't able to scout and confirm how committed Nicoract was.
Yeah, I'll just defer to you and your knowledge on that one, because again, looking at this, I'm like, yeah. And those queens kind of melted, man.
Yeah, it's y'all.
3 BCs.
Look, as a Zerg player, look, if I wanted, I could balance wine a little bit. I'm not going to. You know, again,
The only thing keeping me back from balance whining is my Terran bias. I think BCs need more of a buff after seeing that.
You're an animal.
Personally.
My cousin with Asher right now? Is that what I'm doing?
Yes. You did tell me to learn from him.
I did.
From the streams. As we continue our series now on to Cosmic Sapphire, something a little bit more normal. Hey, you know what? Waterfall. Terran favorite map. I think that was the proof. We are spawning in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. Our blue Terran player coming up from the land of Belarus. He is, of course, going to be representing Storm Gaming, doing his teammate Gumiho proud with that BC build. He is Nicoract.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the yellow Zerg player himself, hailing from the land of the UK, representing Platinum Heroes. It is Iba.
Huge shout-outs here in the chat to Sinistro, our resident ESL admin, for confirming to us that, yes, Bangladesh is, in fact, counted as rest of Asia.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So if Iba, he just has to get his dual citizenship going, and he could be a part of it in a couple of years when he's old enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to get the dual citizenship going. He's got to wait 3 years.
Yeah.
3 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Until he's 16.
That's the thing. Unfortunately, for those who do not know, Iba is the youngest GM in history. I believe he hit GM when he was
younger than Time and Maru.
Even younger than Time and Maru, exactly. I believe he hit GM when he was 12 years old. I think now he's 13. Yep. But you do have to. There is a minimum age requirement to be a part of DreamHack.
Yeah, to be part of ESL in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, I guess just the EPT circuit. Mm-hmm. There are definitely a lot of tournaments out there that don't quite have the same thing, like our tournament, for example. But of course, we're not affiliated with the ESL Pro Tour, and I think even tournaments like GSL, if they did have players who were below that limit competing, they would just strike the EPT points from their record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. There are those rules and regulations for a reason, and because of that, Iba, despite being an amazing player, won't be able to participate for a couple of years, but we'll see how he does here. Again, that was a bit of a rough way to go down. Fun fact though, in game number 2, Nicoract is completely switching gears here with a second Rax.
Yeah, I looked at this factory being produced and I thought, 3 Racks, let's go, but no, it is just going to be a 2-on-1. Something that I'm personally glad has been seeing a bit of a resurgence in this meta.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of variations of 2-on-1 recently as well. We've seen 2-on-1 all-in versions combined with a Hellbat push. We've seen other variants as well, more economic variants, but a bit of a shame there. The Reaper does get taken out.
By a drone at that. That drone, man, it's got 1 kill on it. So we tell that story to its grandkids.
The Chad, I mean, as long as the BC doesn't show up and kill everyone. Oh, God. Yeah, Iba, he does clean that up. So now Nicoract is a little bit in the dark. But, he's got his own build that he is working towards. And once again, just like last time, it's on Iba to try and figure out what is happening. This is easier to scout because Iba should be recognizing, hold on, where are your Hellions?
Yeah, the Zergling rocks up, sees 7 Marines, and this is already enough of a tell.
Yeah.
For Iba to adapt to.
Exactly. So now he's aware that it's either a 2-1-1 or a 3-Rax opener, one or the other, so Iba can start preparing at home. He's free to drone up. He's free to slowly work on his Evo chambers, his queens. There we go. Safety, Baneling Nest on the way, just in case. This time only 1.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate that he's getting it. But, as we all know, the counter to 2-on-1 is masslings, and for now, he is focusing on droning. It's a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, he should be cutting droning now. He's up to that 50 workers, which is as greedy as you can be against a 2-on-1. Yeah, so now that we've hit that, we should be seeing nothing but Lings on the way. The first wave of Marines are already moving out. The Queens are in position. There should be enough to defend. In a couple of seconds, those Lings are going to pop.
But till then, what can these Marines get done? Sim isn't done just yet, and it does keep these Queens alive. But now a lot of Zerglings actually trickling in. Oh man, this is unfortunate.
But you know what? The medevacs are being focused on. The first medevac does end up going down. The second barely escapes, and Iba defends.
Yeah. And now he's going to be able to get away with the third base, too.
Yeah. Third base is getting fully saturated. Now that Eva has defended, now he can take his gases. He can even take fourth. He can work on his Evo chambers. A lot of the aggression has been stifled. Nicoract does still have a drop here, but again, like that medevac is so low, it's going to be so difficult for Nicoract to really get too much more done here.
Yeah, even picking up and leaving can be risky. Like so.
Oh,
the queen!
Oh, I love it. Eva going in with the intercept with the queen off creep. If there just happened to be creep here, I'm sure I would have been able to keep up. There we go. The tumor just finishing up now. And that's what we're talking about. Again, with only a single medevac barely alive, Nicoract is forced to turn around.
Like so. And from here, whoa, actually, I was going to say from here, we should be seeing... We should be going into the mate game where things will slow down a little bit as both players tech up and get their bases, but Nicoract, I like how active he's being on this map. This is what I think what we really caught on to last week when we watched him play. Gets a kill on that fourth base, and he's just clearing creep wherever he can.
Yeah, exactly. You know, one medevac drop, that's just so, in a way, random, very unexpected. There were no overlords in position. Eva had no idea that he needed anything in position. And again, that was a kill, not a cancel. And despite this medevac barely being alive, Nicoract is still active. Oh, God! But gets punished for it.
Spoke too soon. Yeah. It's a little bit of a load off Eba's mind.
Yeah, just a little bit. And I'm curious if Eva is going to stop droning, because I don't know if you noticed something, but Eva has made nothing but Ling Bane, and he opted not to make Evo chambers. I'm pretty sure Eva is going all in off of 52 drones.
Which is surprising to say the least. But definitely something he can get away with, especially if he catches these tanks on siege.
Yeah.
He's going in with everything he's got, including the queens. Bailing speed is a little bit far from done.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, Eva is going for the full surround. Nicoract hasn't recognized the lack of drones. He hasn't recognized how much saturation that Eva has. So the turns have tabled. The Marines are steaming on forward, and he's going to be able to get some of these queens, but the reinforcements are being cut off, and in comes the Ling Bane.
A full three-pronged surround coming in here. The triangle attack, or the triangle front, if you want to call it that. And Nicoract's army completely crushed, but his drop is still in effect. Doesn't get too many drone kills.
Yeah, he only forces Eba to turn around, which in and of itself could be enough. He's still being so pesky, so annoying with these drops. We have another drop here on the right-hand side. Bailey's are going to crash in. Nicoract not quite paying attention. And his reinforcements are kind of being caught out as well.
Yeah, Nicoract continued to parade push throughout all of this and that's something that Eba was definitely using to his advantage.
Yeah, I was focusing a lot on the fact that Eba was going all in, but at the same time so was Nicoract, because he only just now starts his third base, which is a little bit surprising. His third is non-existent, and his own army is kind of crumbling as well. This is so weird. We're like 9 minutes into the game, but like both players are playing low eco.
May as well, I suppose. Yeah, this is a variant of the 2-on-1 that usually isn't all in. You usually do get that third base, but by the time you're getting that third base, you're hoping to have been able to cancel a third of his opponent as well. Because Eva was able to keep it all alive. Things are not looking up for our blue Terran player.
Exactly. Both players were looking to be hyper aggressive, so they kind of negate each other in a way. The drops are slowly being cleaned up, and Eva has decided to drone. He just squeezed out a couple more workers. We have our 2 Evo chambers to get into 1-1 as well. So yeah, both players are relatively even, but like Nicoract is playing with fire here with these handful of units. He cannot afford to lose his tank again.
Like so.
Yeah, here we go. The Ling Bane rolls on in. The Queens clean up these Liberators as well. GG gets called, and Eba fights back, taking game number 2.
Some pretty good control there coming out from Nicoract, but in the end, just was not enough firepower. Eba does take that, tying us up sideways 1-1.
Oh yeah. Again, it was really interesting to see those two different styles clash on Cosmic Sapphire, where they both cut workers really early on and they just wanted to kill each other. But as we saw, like that did end up working out better in the end for Eba. Like that mass round was insane.
Oh yeah. There's a reason why the Zerg won on Cosmic Sapphire and lost on Waterfall. No, but yeah, no, that's definitely Iba using the map to his advantage. I mean, there are definitely a lot of open spaces where he forced an engagement from Nicoract, or not even forced an engagement, just forced Nicoract to siege up, while he went around and made sure that, okay, by the time he engages, he's able to hit at every single angle. So very nice positional play coming out from our yellow Zerg player.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of we'll see where things go here, especially because we're going into a much more standard map. Game 3 is going to be on inside and out. And I have to wonder what Nicoract is going to fall on as well, right? I do think that, judging off of the previous style as well, going for something like two-port BC is vulnerable to like early lane bane aggression, because you may not have too much at home to defend, specifically when it comes to splash damage units like your Widowmines, like your tanks. You give up on that factory production for mass Hellion BC instead. So there are like weaknesses to that build as well. I have to wonder if maybe that is why, like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why it is specifically that Iba kind of decided to play the way that he did, and maybe he plans to do it again.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a reaction to the two-port BC. Oh. And it turned out working well for him, even though it wasn't quite what Nicoract was going for.
Yeah. We'll see. So we're going to be loading on in. Here we go. Game number 3, the ace match, puppy.
It all comes down to this. Not Waterfall.
Not Waterfall.
That's all we need. We are concluding our best of 3 round of 16, I think? Yeah, round of 16 here on inside and also out. We're in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue Terror player coming out from the land of Belarus. He is going to be representing Storm Gaming. We have Nicoract.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of inside and out, we have the British Zerg player himself. He is yellow, representing Platinum Heroes. It is Iba.
Nice. Definitely glued to the protection tabs right now.
Yes, here we go. Again, our eyes on... we should say both players, because Iba, last game, he wasn't necessarily playing like standard either. Oh, he sprays and then covers it with the spawning pool.
I like it. Sneaky. His opponents won't know he's... is that a cheese spray?
What? No, it's a face.
It's a face.
Yeah.
Whose face?
It's an emote. It's a Twitch emote.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know. I don't.
Describe it. Not like this.
No, it's not. No, it's not. What are you saying right now? No, it's
Suppy?
not. I don't know.
Suppy would make sense. Why isn't there an in-game Suppy emote?
There should be an in-game Suppy emote. You're not wrong.
Here's where I find out there is one. It's just I didn't unlock it during this specific war chest, so now I'll never get it ever again.
Yo, the worst thing about the war chests is that you had to unlock them on each region, like specifically, like separately.
Right, yeah. I remember that.
So like I have all these emotes on NA, but I don't have any of them on EU. It's like, mate, come on.
I can't spam broccoli on EU.
I know, right? Shaking my head. But so far, pretty standard openers here. Nicoract, he goes for the Reaper first, just like he has every game so far. And we'll see if he gets a drone kill. We'll see if he keeps his Reaper alive. Oh.
Wow.
Huh.
That was yeah. I always love seeing the grenade go under this building.
Yeah. It's interesting choice to go for the Evo Chamber instead of the Spore, I must say.
Well, you know, it's a little bit more expensive, but in the end, when you get the refund, you get the same amount proportionally.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of wall off that mineral line. It's something that I haven't seen too much. It's pretty cool. As so far, again, Nicoract is just dancing here with his opponent's units. Back at home, we do see a 1-1-1, but once again, a very different opener, different compared to everything else we've seen from Nicoract today.
Well, that's what we say. Because it's actually true. He did decide to go for 3 CCs before Starport. Not much longer before Starport, but before Starport nonetheless. So Nicoract going to be a lot more economic focused.
Yeah, Nicoract, he's the one who's going to just calm down a little bit here. Let's just take the pressure off on the aggression and go for a more macro-oriented build. And we'll keep an eye on Eba to see if he does something similar here. Again, it's a little bit too early to tell as we're still in the droning stage and we're still in the queening stage. As Nicoract, spices things up a little bit more with that starport.
Cloaked Banshees? Okay.
Yeah.
Is he gonna get the armories? Now my question.
What does that mean?
Does he go for Hellbat Banshee?
I hope not, but it's possible. It's possible. Oh god, it's just a nice way to have map control. It's a nice way to at least apply some pressure here. Obviously, he's gonna have less Hellions to work with just because of the opener period. But he's gonna have some presence on the map, and could even punish Eba if he skips his spores.
Which he is not at the moment. Almost was.
Yeah, the first wave of spores are on the way, but the Banshee is looking to slip one in. Cloak is still 10 seconds away, and the Banshee's already taking a little bit of damage.
And Rush, how much more can really take?
Yeah, forced to Cloak in the end, but is it really worth it so far? He's going to get one drone? Up.
Worth it.
Up.
No, he gets 2. 3.
Not bad. Catching a couple of transferring workers here. Could even get a 4th drone as well if he's paying attention, and he is paying attention. So the Banshee, this one Banshee so far is kind of paying for itself.
5 total drones. Finally it went down. But like you said, not before paying itself. Many times over.
Not bad at all. Oh boy. Meanwhile, things are still looking relatively normal here. We have 1-1 on the way. Stim, it is going to be a bio transition from Nicoract. We're not going to be seeing any kind of mech here. We're not going to be seeing any kind of BCs like following up the Banshees or anything crazy like that. So yeah, we're getting into a much more standard ZvT.
Praise the Lord.
Except Eba may have stopped training.
He definitely stopped droning quite some time ago. He is stuck on 55 workers now, 56 workers I should say, sorry. And he's doing nothing but building up his army units.
Oh, he is. We have a little bit of a ling run by here at the third base of Nicoract. Unfortunately, his army was completely out of position, so not a lot of dead SCVs, but a lot of lost Mayan time. The reinforcements are going to be able to clean all this up, and this is what I was waiting for. Eba did intentionally delay his 1-1 by quite a bit, but what's important is it was a delay. Like, he is still getting...
Yeah, by the time this engagement hits, he should have them anyway.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, Eba, he's trying to catch these Hellions. In the end, he will. But Nicoract, he honestly traded as best he could with that, just trying his best to micro and dance with those links and traders as efficiently as he could.
Yeah, despite losing it, still, like I said, it's still a very efficient trade, and that is something that absolutely stacks up in a TVZ. Hellions, they definitely fall off a little bit, and now we're getting to the point where Nicoract wants to hit a very crisply timed tank push. Really good supply cap on top of this, just limiting the reinforcements of Eba.
Oh god, exactly. But again, he's only working with one tank right now. At the same time, Eba goes for a bailing run by, does connect with the Marines. He gets into the middle line! Oh.
Could have been a lot worse, but it was already pretty bad to begin with. Siege is in the middle of the map, which is never what you want to do as a Terran player, but Eba kind of forced Nicoract's hand here.
Yeah,
he wants that overseer!
He wants the Overseer. The Overseer manages to barely survive. Eba does deflect this push, and now Eba's getting ready for a counterattack again. I was questioning that move out from Nicoract a little bit. Like, moving out with a single tank is pretty crazy. Like, I understand that Nicoract, he wants to keep the aggression on his opponent. He wants to be in Eba's face, but with one tank, he's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to go when you know you have your upgrades, but yeah, this was definitely one of those moments where you would have been better served just waiting to get more units out. Eba has just crossed 1,000 APM.
God, he has. I mean, these drops are still trying to keep him as busy as possible, but Eba, he actually does have vision of this drop, so he's going to be able to respond in time. There we go. Ling Bane is already waiting here in the main. 1-1 finally on the way. Eba is behind when it comes to those upgrades, but what he makes up for when it comes to the lack of upgrades is the fact that he does have plenty of Ling Bane, and he is taking up into those Hydras.
Yeah, it's fine to stay for Ling Bane for a while, as long as you make sure that none of these drops do any damage. Now the Hydras are out. It's gonna be even trickier for these drops to deal set damage.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit surprised at the low drone count of Eba. Like, it's taking him quite some time here to drone up, and I do think that part of it is because he's probably familiar with Nicoract. He's familiar with his aggressive style, so he's just working on a lower drone count earlier on to make sure he has enough upgrades. Sorry, he has enough units to survive the aggression, and then later transition, and it's kind of working out well for him.
Yeah, a wise man once said, while this does delay the eventual tech transition to lurkers and whatnot, it's better to be delayed than dead.
Yeah, you know what's dead? Those Marines. This drop, everything here on the left hand side. Oh my god, no, the Medivacs!
Could have left when they had the chance, but they just had to go down with the Marines.
They had to go down with the shipmate, but this time Nicoract is moving out with the majority of his army. This time he has plenty of tanks behind him, but Eba, you know what else is behind Nicoract? Eba, mate.
Yeah. Eba with a whole ton of Lings and Banes. Now, Nicoract did set up pretty far off creep though, and he has a really good pre-split of both his tanks and his Marines. Not the most efficient trade here for Eba, and he even loses 10 drones to the Liberator harass. A lot of Banelings coming down, but a lot of these tanks were still siege. Really good split here, and I think Nicoract has enough to keep this going.
Yeah, exactly. Like Eba, if you saw, he went in a little bit prematurely with some of those Banelings, and those are Banelings that he desperately needed to go in all at once and collapse on that army. Nicoract takes a beautiful fight. There just wasn't enough Zerg there, and now Nicoract has the momentum. On top of that, we were looking at it, that Liberator was just, again, hindering the economy of Eba. Both players are now pretty even when it comes to the workers, and that's always a better thing for Terran.
Yeah, Wheelsmen, they are pretty good. This army is very badly stimmed, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much in the end. I did not even realize the Banshee was still alive and cloaked.
The Banshee is still alive, still helping out in whatever way he can, and Nicoract is slowly pushing him forward. Thankfully, there was some decent creep spread here, so it has slowed his advance down, but it's only slowed it down. It hasn't stopped it.
And it's not gonna stop if these Banelings keep going down to tanks.
Yeah, shout out to that one Ling, by the way.
You see how many SCVs it took to kill that one Ling? Dude, that's the power of +1 Carapace.
Power of +1, mate. Here we go. The fourth base does go down. Eba is expanding towards the left-hand side instead, but again, his drone count just still isn't what it needs to be. He doesn't have a hive, he doesn't have a lurker, and he's working with pure Ling Bane Hydra, which is fine, but unfortunately, he just doesn't really have the creep spread. He doesn't have the presence on the map, the control of the map to really make use of it. Nicoract, he's free to just rotate around.
And just like that, he's been able to knock Eba down to 4 bases. Yeah, even on the base count to him. You know, we're taking the work count.
Yeah, Eba knows that he needs to do something about it. He goes for a bit of a Baneling run by, but Nicoract is quick to respond, and only 3 SCVs go down.
1 for each Baneling left at the end there.
God, exactly. Meanwhile, okay, Eba isn't tunnel visioning too much. He does have an infestation bit on the way. He does have a lurker on the way. He knows that he needs at least a hive and at least Vipers to really fight and contend against this army. He at least does have a 4th base up, and his creep spread here isn't looking too bad for now, as Nicoract is cleaning it up.
Yeah, but he is on siege as well, so maybe these Banelings will be able to push it over the top, but no is going to be the answer to that. Brilliant concave from the side of Nicoract.
Yeah, exactly. Was able to siege up just in time, and now things are getting out of control. We have 9 siege tanks here for Nicoract. Again, as long as this is sieged, Eba can't. He's going to have a hard time engaging with this. He may have to give up another base. Up.
Yes, 1-2 though, and with that connection of banelings, he may not need to. Here come the reinforcements, but what is here to support the reinforcements? A lot of medevacs is the answer. Okay.
A lot of tanks, maybe.
A lot of tanks, well.
Exactly. As long as Nicoract is babysitting his units, he should be able to pull back to the tank line. Here we go. Lurkers are coming in, and they will definitely help. Do we have a scan? We do.
We have quite a number of scans, but the tanks are a little bit out of range. Only one of them is within range.
Only one within range, but one is all you need. Eba just lost so many lurkers, I'm afraid to look, but 8 lurkers went down in that fight. He has more behind this, again, to try and slow down that push, but he doesn't have a lot of support for the lurkers. There are no more banelings left. Lings are only just trickling in.
I just realized that I am blind led, and I thought the queens were infestors for a sec. Apparently no, they are different units that both have energy bars.
You're like, can we get the fungal up, puppy? Can we get the fungal? It's like, oh wait.
Fungal and lurker combo, let's go, but no. Why don't queens have fungal, actually?
True. We should message Winter about that and get him to add that to his list of changes for the next patch. Oh god, as we do see the army just pushing on forward. There we go. Eba is forced to give up the 4th base. He's knocked down to only 3 remaining bases, hasn't retaken the base on the right hand side, and he's going for a mass counterattack. He knows that how desperate the situation is.
And Nicoract now has to make a decision. Do I go back and defend, or do I go out and attack? And he goes back to defend.
Yeah, for getting all those dots, he could probably do both, to be honest, but here we go. He is taking this threat very seriously. He doesn't want to throw the game away. He scans, sees the army, and now it's Eba's turn to get surrounded.
Can you really surround lurkers, though, with bio? Apparently you can, as Nicoract demonstrate. GG is called. Nicoract will take that series 2-1, and will be our final quarterfinalist of the evening.
GG, well played to Nicoract after a very dynamic series. You know, I was smudging a little bit, especially seeing that first game where Eba, he just died to the BCs. But outside of that, like, we had a very back and forth ZvT, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, not just the result, but the games themselves had a nice little bit of back and forth going on. Definitely a lot of moments where it looked like Eba had in the bag, but then Nicoract fought back, and honestly a couple of moments where I was ready to write Nicoract off. You're like, okay, that's gonna be the end of his run, but no.
Yeah, I was really concerned for a moment there as well, but GG, well played in the end to Nicoract, looking very solid. I was questioning the low drone count there of Eba, and yeah, for good reason, because of it, he wasn't able to really rebuild and keep up with Nicoract. It didn't help that there were a couple of engagements that just didn't go his way, and Nicoract was able to really snowball from there.
Yeah. This goes to show you, you know, not being greedy can keep you alive, but will it really? But are you really alive? Are you really living?
Yeah. Eba just messaged me, and yeah, he confirmed. When the push was coming on the right hand side, his army, half his army, those banelings got auto triggered, and he didn't realize. So when those banelings rolled in, when half the banelings rolled in on their own, that wasn't intentional. That was an accident. And after that happened, you know, Nicoract, he just pulled the trigger and he just went for it. And Eba was the one who just wasn't ready. He had to rebuild what he just lost. Oh.